Hey guys, it's Juan Romero here. I wanted to do a quick recap of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Stephen R. Covey. Now, this video can hardly do this book any justice. On Audible, it's a 13-hour listen, but it is well worth it. It is full of examples. He dives deep into every single habit and gives real-world examples of uses. He gives exercises. Phenomenal book. And so I highly recommend reading it or listening to it on Audible. And so very quickly, the first habit of highly effective people, the first is to be proactive. So to act on rather than to be acted upon. You choose the way that you want your life to go. The second habit is to begin with the end in mind. And so whatever choices that you're making, are they making a profound difference on the end game? How do you want to be remembered? And are your choices today making an impact? Do they really matter? And are you doing the things that are going to make a difference long term? Begin with the end in mind is the second habit of highly effective people. The third habit is to put first things first. And so he gives a brilliant example of how to prioritize time. We all have 24 hours, yet some are much more effective at getting more things done, more important things done. Have you ever had a day where you feel like you were busy all day long, the time flew, you don't know where it went, and yet at the end of the day you still feel like you didn't get enough done? This is a way to prioritize your day in a way that makes sense. There's 4 quadrants. The first one shows items for your day that are urgent and also important. The second quadrant are things that are not urgent but are important. The third quadrant shows items that are urgent but not important. And the fourth quadrant shows things that are not urgent and also not important. And so most of us spend our time in quadrant 1 and quadrant 3 on things that are urgent and important and things that are urgent and not important. And so we're really being acted upon. So this ties right into the first habit. And so by staying in these 2 quadrants, our time's wasted, and oftentimes we get the things done that are important, but we also get a lot of things that are not important done in the day only because they're urgent. And so those things can be passed on to someone else or not done altogether. And it's really not going to make that big of a difference. To live effectively, we have to spend time in quadrant 2 on things that are not urgent, but things that are important. And so the first step would be to free up some time in quadrant 3 on things that are not important, but they're urgent. Pass those on, free up that time, and get more stuff done that's not urgent, but it's important. You definitely want to take care of quadrant 1 if you have a lot of items in quadrant 1 right now. But long term, what will happen is as you start eliminating the things that are urgent and you start acting proactively on the things that are important but not urgent, they will not find themselves in that first quadrant. You'll take care of them before they get there. And so those 3 are sort of grouped together. The fourth habit of highly effective people is to think win-win. And this was something that I felt that I was doing, but really I was thinking win-lose most of the time. And so there's many different ways that whether we're in a conversation, if we're entering into an agreement, there's win-win where we both get what we want. There's win-lose where I get what I want and you don't really get what you want. There's lose-win where I don't get what I want, but you get what I want. So if you're someone that always wants someone else to be happy or that just passes things off, hey, it's all right. It happens all the time. As long as you're happy, you're working lose-win, and really you're not going to be happy. Then there's lose-lose whenever you compromise, where you kind of sometimes meet in the middle, but neither one of you is really happy. This lose-lose. And so when you're thinking win-win, you work to understand and you find ways to make it work for both parties. And then there's win-win or no deal. And so there's times whenever you can't come to an agreement and it's really better off to walk away than to compromise and end up with lose-lose. And so the fourth habit of highly effective people is to think win-win. The fifth habit is what probably takes the most dedication and the most working on, and it's to seek to understand, then to be understood. It's listening to understand rather than listening to respond. And so this takes a lot of patience, but it's highly effective in communication. To first understand the person that you're talking to and then present your point. He gives an example of a parent trying to understand their child. And the example states something along the lines of, I don't understand. He just doesn't listen. And so he repeats it and says, hold on, so let me get this straight. So you don't understand, he doesn't listen. That's right, that's what I said. I don't understand. He doesn't listen to me. He doesn't do what I'm asking. So let me repeat this one more time. You don't understand, he won't listen. That's right. I thought to understand you had to listen. And so to really communicate effectively, we must understand the other person's point. Confirm that understanding. And once we can do that, then we can present our point and work towards win-win. And so the fifth habit is to seek to understand, then to be understood. The sixth habit is to synergize. And so when you work together as a team, you will accomplish more. It's the idea that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. 1 + 1 equals 3 or more. You'll be better off working together than you would be on your own. So all of these go together. And the seventh habit of highly effective people is to sharpen the saw. He gives an example of a guy who's cutting down a tree. And he's working and he's working and he's working and he's working. He's taking all this time, putting all this effort, and he's not making much progress. And someone tells him, you need to sharpen your saw. And he says, I don't have time to sharpen my saw. I have to cut this tree down. And so if he took time, maybe 5 minutes, to sharpen that saw, it would cut his time in cutting that tree down because he would be more effective. And so it's the idea of effort versus effectiveness. And so these are the 7 habits. And the first 3 can be summarized by the statement, make and keep a promise. And the back 3 can be summarized by involve others in the problem and work towards a solution together. And so this book is incredible. You have to read it. Try it out on Audible. Click the link below. You get 2 books for free. This is one I would highly recommend. Start on it now. It's free. You get to keep the books. You listen to it on your drive. Listen to it when you work out, on your downtime. Even if you only catch a small percentage of it, it's better than not catching any of it at all. Or if you have any other types of books that you like, chances are they're on Audible. You can listen to them. And it's a completely different way to get an understanding of the book and to be able to use no extra time in order to get more done. For example, with driving, it's not taking any extra time. You're already going to be driving. Instead of wasting time or complaining about traffic, I get excited with traffic because that means I get to listen to the book for longer. Click the link below. Let me know what you thought. And check out The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Dr. Stephen R. Covey. Subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.